If you're looking for professional day trading education, a high level trade analysis and dissection, you have come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you exactly that professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And tonight we are going to be going over two trades that I took, as well as discussing trading into a Fed announcement or a Fed speak. Basically trading into catalyst and volatility. What should you do? Should you? Shouldn't you? We're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into that. So hang tight. So I hope you all had a wonderful day. I certainly did. One sec as I grab my charts. Okay, let's rock and roll. So it was a quick morning. So I live, for those of you that don't know, I live on the Guanacaste coast in Costa Rica. I moved here years ago. And from time to time, the sea turtles come in. There's leatherbacks. There's all sorts of massive. These things are gigantic, like the size of a dinner table. They're amazing. So my son is in, so we were going to go check that out. They were supposed to be in, and it was a couple of quick trades. Long story short, we didn't see any turtles. We missed them by literal a couple of hours. We saw their tracks come in, and we missed them. But I did have to shut it down a little bit early because that's something that is super important. That's why we do this as day traders, is to have that ultimate freedom and do the things that we enjoy doing. So that's what we did. So you're going to see a couple of very quick trades. Actually, we executed and locked in for the most part. We still had a few contracts on within 3 minutes, locking in a substantial amount for the trades that we took. So the very first trade. Now, for those of you that are just joining us, you're going to see these blue levels. These blue levels have trade plans surrounding them that are designed and brought into play at 9 a.m. East. And I also have contingency plans. So, what happens if the trade plan doesn't work out? So, this morning, we didn't need those contingencies. And this morning, we opened up, popped into this first reactionary level. It was a very quick trade. And if you caught my entries, exits, and targets webinar last night, if you didn't, make sure you watch that because I explain exactly why I would pay myself right there, which is exactly what I did. So entered into, and I'll draw this out here, market opens up, pops up into this level, execute, pay myself into here, and that was it. That's the trade. And held very small, and that was it. Stopped out the rest. Nice trade, locking in 721 bucks, all within the first basically 2 minutes of the market open on that one. So really nice trade on that. And then secondary, almost at the same time, it was pretty amazing. I'm gonna zoom. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna zoom in on this one as well. One sec. So then you guys can see it. So we had this lower level. The lower level was a long. Market opens up and it sells off straight down into that level. Absolutely fantastic trade. This 562, 563.28 level on Qs was a very powerful level. It is a powerful setup today and beautiful. It dwarfs this because of the huge run up later on. Again, initial entry, paid myself into a target and the majority of the position, and then simply took the rest off. I wish I could have continued working this, okay, but ran out of time today. So locked in $845 on that. So now let's talk about this big substantial move. Now, if you caught my entries, exits, and target webinar, you would know number one, this is has a potential on the daily chart for a very powerful move. I call it the rounding effect. Okay, and that's what it did. Now, what you do see at coming into 10 a.m. is we had Powell speaking, and it set up flawlessly. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up when it comes to numbers and Fed announcements and Fed speaks. Now, it doesn't happen 100% of the time, obviously, with what I'm about to say. But a lot of people fear numbers And these announcements, which I shouldn't say you should, but you need to be very experienced in order to manage them. And I'll explain here in what I'm saying right now. If we know that the stock market is manipulated and rigged, right? Everybody says that. Oh, the stock market's rigged. Oh, it's manipulated. If we know that and people say shit like that all the time, then we have to believe it, right? So if they're rigging it, what would be some ways that they could rig it? Well, numbers, Fed speaks, data, all of that. Now, if you go back and you take a look at right before major numbers, let's just specifically talk about numbers right now, not the Fed. Coming into those numbers, it'll sell off, giving the impression that there are bad numbers coming out, bad data points. And they'll sell it off to a lower price point. Not today. Today's a little different. Okay. So they drive it down into that, spooking out retail traders because retail traders, they don't believe the things that they say. With the example being what I said a couple minutes earlier about the stock market is rigged. They say it, but they don't believe it. Now, I'm not saying that it happens 100% of the time, but it happens. If you start watching this and tracking this, it does happen a lot. So they'll drive it down into a lower price point on rumors of bad data or bad numbers coming out. And what does it do? They drive it right into a major support level. And then boom, gets bought up and it rips. Or vice versa. We think there's going to be good numbers coming out. So it starts squeezing up and driving up in the morning right into resistance. Those numbers come out. Usually it'll pop through that, stopping out those shorts, and then it starts selling off. It happens all the time. Okay. Now let's talk about the Fed and what happened today. So again, if you caught my webinar last night, you know that this remount is a powerful setup. And I even said when you have a slow or nice controlled pullback into support, you can go long. Here, you can't. I don't care what you see after the fact. And here's a major problem with traders when they're first starting out. They get rewarded for piss poor trading behavior and they give themselves a pat on the back because they can now see the end result. So let's think about this in reverse. Let's take the same, let me move this up a little bit. So let's say for whatever reason you were in short, right? Or you were, now let's go long. We're still long, but it came out and it wasn't good. That is right there, same distance. Now, I'm not saying it would be exactly the same. I'm just trying to put it into perspective. If you were in long and Powell started speaking and it did this, would you feel the same way that you traded into a Fed doing it right? You wouldn't, obviously. You would know that you fucked up. And what would you tell yourself? Oh, I'm never going to trade into a Fed again. But because you traded into this Fed and you went long and you got rewarded for it, you went long. Hey guys, listen, it's a beautiful setup. It's beautiful. Even the daily chart lines up. Beautiful pullback, held trend, next day gaps up, comes down into support and rips. That's what you want to see. The problem is holding into that Fed. If you did it, you are going to fail down the road. You will. You won't think that you will right now, but I've seen too much through my years. I've trained too many traders. I know what comes next for you. So if you executed this trade, sure, you got rewarded. You made a lot of money today. Not next time and not the time after that. You blow up next time. This is, especially once you start getting further on in your career and you start trading with more size, your position sizes are much bigger. What happens when you're in with hundreds of contracts and it does this and there's no way out of that position? Because you would have went long if you're trading options with the 638s, maybe 639s, possibly down to 637s. So the 637s to the 639s. And this thing went straight up into the 644s. That's at minimum 4 or 5 strikes away. There's no getting that back. And that's fucking zero. And when you're trading with large positions, that damages you. So if you execute a trade like this coming into a Fed, you should know better. In fact, it's one of the rules at Tricktrades that I don't want to catch anyone trading into the Fed. If you do, and you should know better because you've been with us for a long time, and I find out, you will be removed from the service because I won't work with people like that. I have no desire helping people like that. Now, if you're very new to trading, that's a different story. You learned a lesson and you got taught a lesson and hopefully you learn from that lesson. But that's the difference between Tricktrades and other services. I really want you guys to succeed, but I choose to work with the people that I want to work with. I only want to work with people that are very serious about this. Because if you're not and you're a gambler, I don't want to waste my time. I wouldn't waste my breath. I wouldn't waste the hard work and decade plus of experience on you. I wouldn't do it. And sure, that can come off a certain type of way, but I don't care how it comes off. That's just how it is. But long story short, guys, when we know there's a Fed, I don't care what the setup looks like. I don't fucking care. You are not to execute that trade because again, you got rewarded today. Big trade, made a lot of money. But could you retire and never trade again? Probably not. Probably made a few $1,000s. Let's say you made $100,000. Is it going to change your life? For some of you, maybe. I mean, it might sound like that, but you probably didn't make 100 grand in it. It's not worth it. It's about doing things right and trading professionally at all times. And there's certain rules we just we can't overstep. We can't, because if you do, it'll catch up to you down the road. This is a game, like I said last night, of infinite consistency and discipline and self-control. That's what makes this hard. It's not the technicals, it's not the entries, it's not developing strategy. That's all easy shit. It's the self-discipline, the control, all of that. Self-respect, confidence, education, all of that. That's the important stuff. So I sincerely hope that if you did execute something like this, you think about it for next time and don't do it. I don't care if you got rewarded. This is not a trade I would ever reward myself with. We don't trade like that. Everything lined up for it. That's the kicker. And that's what makes it's really interesting, because that's what makes this so hard and so difficult, because it's so easy to lie to ourselves and take a look at this and be like, well, no, it remounted it. And it had the rounding effect on the daily chart. And you'll start telling yourself this stuff, but you're missing the one fucking thing. The one thing that matters. You broke a major rule of trading into a Fed. That takes away from all of that. You can't do it, period. There are rules, hard set rules for a reason. And it's not about now, because sure, you might blow up a small account, which isn't going to fucking damage you financially. I know it seems like the end of the world, but you know what? You lose a couple grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand. It's not going to change your life much. It just isn't, right? It'll seem like it at the time. It'll seem like the end of the world, but it's not. But once you start trading out of very large accounts and your position sizes are bigger, this is where bad things happen. Big time. That's why these rules are in place, are to protect us, not now, but later on in our fucking careers, if you listen. So locking in a really nice day, I'm happy with that. It ended up working out to be about $150 a minute. I'll take it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. You all deserve it. Make sure to check out the live presentation from yesterday, August 21st. It's in the videos as well as the live. There's 2 videos. Have a great weekend, folks. Come to tricktrades.com if you want to get trained by a professional to make you a professional. Adios, folks. Later, guys.